London, 1961. A 6'2" Scotsman walks into a room full of the most powerful men in Hollywood. He is wearing a cheap suit. He has calloused hands. The billionaire producers look him up and down. They see a brute, a rough-edged nobody from the slums of Edinburgh. One of them leans over and whispers, "Too rough, too Scottish, too real." They want a gentleman's spy, polished, perfect, born into privilege. This man is none of those things. But then, he moves. He crosses the room, and something shifts in the air. This is the story of how a man who polished coffins for a living became the most iconic secret agent in history, and how he made every single one of those billionaires bow down. London, Eon Productions office, 1961. The stakes couldn't be higher. Ian Fleming's James Bond novels are a global sensation. Producers Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman are about to make the most expensive British film ever attempted. They have one job: find the man who is Bond. They've seen everyone. Cary Grant, Patrick McGoohan, David Niven. All wrong. Then someone slides a name across the table. Thomas Sean Connery, age 31. From the Fountain Bridge slum of Edinburgh, Scotland. Broccoli looks at the name. He isn't sure. But wait, that's not even the most shocking part. The real story started decades earlier, in a city where nobody expected a legend to be born. Let me tell you. Edinburgh, Fountain Bridge, 1930. Fountain Bridge is not a glamorous place. It is cold, it is poor, it is unforgiving. Young Tommy Connery is born in a one-room flat. No running water, no central heat, no plan. His father works in a rubber factory. His mother cleans other people's houses. At age 9, Tommy gets his first job, delivering milk before school, every morning, dark, freezing, alone on the cobblestones. At 13, he quits school entirely, not because he wants to, because the family needs to eat. He delivers milk full-time now, 21 shillings a week. Then he moves to polishing coffins at a funeral parlor, then laying bricks on construction sites, then pressing shirts in a laundry. He joins the Royal Navy at 16. Sees a world beyond Edinburgh for the first time. 3 years later, discharged. Stomach ulcers. Back to nothing. Back to the cold streets of Fountain Bridge. Most men would stop there. Tommy Connery does not stop. Here's the thing. While working odd jobs, Tommy discovers one thing he is absolutely extraordinary at: his body. He starts lifting weights, seriously, obsessively. By 1953, he travels to London for the Mr. Universe competition. He doesn't win, but something happens in that auditorium that changes everything. A man named Robert Henderson is watching. He is an actor, a theater man, and he can see potential in people that they cannot see in themselves. He watches Tommy walk across the stage. Not a model's walk, not an athlete's strut, something else, controlled, low, coiled. Like a predator who isn't in a hurry because he knows nothing can outrun him. Henderson pulls him aside. "Have you ever considered acting?" Tommy looks at him. "I'm a milkman." Henderson doesn't flinch. Not anymore. Back to 1961. Connery walks into the room. He has done some television, a few stage plays, one forgettable film. He is nobody to these men. Broccoli and Saltzman sit behind a mahogany desk. They have notes. Concerns, a list, too rough, too Scottish, too working class. James Bond is supposed to be a gentleman. Eton, Oxford, silver spoons. This man is the opposite. Then the producers make a mistake. They tell him to do a screen test. Connery looks at them, jaw clenched, eyes steady. "I don't do screen tests." Silence. Nobody says that in this room. Nobody. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't explain himself. He simply stands up and walks out. Here's the moment that makes this story immortal. Broccoli walks to the window. He watches Connery cross the street below. No hurry, no frustration, just that walk. That panther-like unshakable stride. Broccoli turns to Saltzman. "That's him." October 5, 1962. The world premiere of Dr. No. The crowd waits, and then the screen opens with a shot that will be replicated, studied, and worshipped for the next 60 years. A man walks into frame. The camera watches him from the barrel of a gun. He turns, steely gaze, slight smile, complete control. Bond. James Bond. 4 words. The audience goes completely silent. Then, pandemonium. Within weeks, Sean Connery is the most talked about actor on the planet. And Ian Fleming? The man who first called Connery an overgrown stuntman. The man who said he was too rough, too common, too real. That same man rewrites the Bond novels. He gives Bond Scottish roots. Because Connery didn't just play the character, he became the character. And then he made the character become him. But wait, here's where it gets even more incredible. At the peak of Bond mania, when the studios would give him anything, Connery walks away. Not from acting, from the cage. He turns down millions of dollars. He refuses to be locked into an endless Bond contract. He refuses to let the studio own his image. The producers beg him. They offer him more money than most people see in a lifetime. He says no. Not angrily, not dramatically, just no. Because here's what that milkman from Edinburgh understood better than any Ivy League executive. The moment you need their approval, you've already lost. He goes on to make The Hill, The Man Who Would Be King, Robin and Marion, art on his own terms, decade after decade, and the world watches something rare. A man who refuses to shrink actually grows. Los Angeles, April 11th, 1988. Sean Connery is 57 years old. His hair is silver. His face carries every year of Fountain Bridge, every cold morning on the cobblestones, every night learning lines in a tiny flat. The Academy gives him the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, The Untouchables. The crowd rises, not politely, not professionally. They rise because they have to, because there are men you simply stand for. He walks to the microphone. No notes, no trembling hands. Just that same walk. The one Broccoli saw through the window in 1961. In 1999, People magazine names Sean Connery the sexiest man of the century. He is 69 years old. That same year, he kneels before Queen Elizabeth II, the boy from Fountain Bridge, the milkman, the coffin polisher, Sir Sean Connery. He spends his final years quietly. Bahamas, family, sunlight, no entourage, no need for validation. On October 31, 2020, he passes away in his sleep. Age 90. The tributes come from everywhere, world leaders, fellow actors, strangers on every continent. Not mourning a movie star, mourning a man. Today, every Bond actor is measured against one standard: his. 6 actors have played James Bond since 1962. Every single one has studied his walk, his stillness, his way of filling a room without trying to. Dr. No alone made back its $1 million budget 45 times over. His Bond films grossed over $2 billion in their original run. Acting schools still use his screen tests as examples of natural authority. And somewhere in Edinburgh right now there is a kid delivering milk at 5 a.m. cold, tired, unknown. This story is for that kid. Here is what Sean Connery's life says to every person who was ever told they were too rough, too poor, too real. Your origins are not your ceiling. He didn't win because he became someone else. He won because he refused to. While the world demanded a polished gentleman, he walked in like a man who had nothing to prove. And that was exactly what they needed. True charisma is not born in wealth. It is forged in grind, in authenticity, in the refusal to change who you are to fit into someone else's box. Build your own frame. Don't seek approval. The producers come to the window eventually. They always do. Class is permanent. Grit is forever. If this story moved you, hit subscribe. Drop a comment below. Which part of Connery's life hit you hardest? Like the video, turn on the notification bell, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today.